Everybody. What's up, everybody? I am here live, and I am going to post the link on my social channels. I encourage everybody to. I'm going to change my audio. Yo, I don't know what is up with this camera on the live streams, but it always looks like it's going crazy. It's a 4K camera. Don't know why it goes nuts. Um, but this is an open Q&A for any of you guys. So please come on here. Where is this link? Okay. Join my YT live. Okay. All right. And I'm going to put it in every Facebook chat. Hey, what's up, Batmite? How's it going? I'm open to answer any questions anybody has. Answering any questions about FE sales and lead gen live. So, what made you pick staying in the life insurance industry as to real estate or any other sales medium? Well, Dade County local. Cool to see you because I'm in Broward County. So, it's cool to see you on here. I live in Pines, actually, but I'm moving to Puerto Rico. Um, so, what made me pick Final Expense? Um, well, I guess it was, I don't know. I mean, I got good at it pretty quick. It was easy to market. It was kind of easy to sell. It was a simple product. It was scalable, easy to get the license. I figured I could build a business out of it quickly. So it was when I got into this, I didn't get into it of like what product can I sell. I got into it as like what business model can I scale out the fastest. So and what would cause have the least maintenance and have a short sales cycle. So I figured life insurance would be pretty easy maintenance, right? I mean, no one really calls to complain about I mean, people call to complain about policies, but not really. It's not like health insurance or car insurance or other products where people have to constantly maintain them and may have issues or changes and stuff like that. So it was easy to sell, low maintenance, and it paid renewals, and it built a passive income, and it was scalable because it's a pretty simple program to sell. So I sold cars. Honestly, I had no idea what I was doing when I got into it. I think um, if we start with the end in mind in your career, then it can really, really help you. So like I said, like I sold cars, I learned how to sell, but I got into life insurance. I didn't get into life insurance to sell life insurance. I got into life insurance to build a business. This freaking camera is like really bothering me. Okay. I got into life insurance to build a business. So I was not trying to build a sales team forever or, whatever. So like just seemed the easiest scalable model. Good question. Um, I'd like anybody else to put in here what got them into insurance, and also any other questions that you have for me. Please post them in the chat. I'd be more than happy to answer any of them that I have going on here. What I'm going to talk about today, in the meantime, is you guys can ask me anything about lead generation. You guys, let me put this into my agency's group chats actually. Um, Let me see here. I'm now live on Facebook. YouTube, live on YouTube. Okay, let me put this in all my. Anybody, if you get any questions, you don't hire in California? Nah, we don't. Unfortunately, I don't know why not. We don't hire any Pacific time zone. Um, I guess it's because the time difference is hard because all of our meetings start at Central or at Eastern time, and yeah, so it's 8 a.m. Eastern is when the meetings start, which is really tough. We're not at that point yet where we've scaled out enough to have that, the West Coast team. Obviously, that would be awesome. I can only hire in Florida personally, so I'm only allowed to hire in one state at this time. So if anybody wants to join us with us, they can like if they live in another state, I can refer you to someone else's team here. You wouldn't work with me, but yeah, I can refer you to be in another system, which I get it. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to work with you, and maybe someday. If anybody has any questions about sales or marketing or lead generation or scaling an agency, let me know. You know, it's funny because I never have anybody ask me how to. I always have people ask me how to sell insurance. I never ask anybody how to I never have anybody ask me how to do like what I've done. So it's just funny because like very rare. I have maybe had like two or three people actually ask me the whole time because I make more money doing this now than I'd ever make selling. It didn't. I don't really think it took any more effort. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, obviously everybody's focused. Sales is the name of the game. You have a great thing going to SLS. How fresh are the leads? Are the leads there? Oh, it depends what lead project you're in. So we have B leads, which are aged leads. We call them blessed leads because we get a ton of sales on them. We have brand new leads, and then we have live transfers and inbound calls. So live transfers and inbound calls are like as fresh as it gets. And we have existing clients at the agency too, which are awesome. So live transfers and inbound calls, that's as fresh as it gets, right? And then we have the new leads, which brand new leads, and then which are generated. We invest a lot of money in leads, so we want the highest quality leads possible. And then you're going to ask me Q&A too about SLS's system and how maybe it would be a good fit for you. If anybody has any questions about, I'm very torn about this whole like answering questions about the system thing because I don't care about sharing that stuff. I'm not one of those people who cares about like sharing, what they like they made up selling life insurance. But like I do care because I started this channel with the intention of just helping people learn how to sell. And now I have people asking to work with me, and like I was like, I don't want to be that guy that turns into just recruiting off YouTube. But yeah, so the B leads we don't buy the B leads from outside sources, right? So our age leads come from our new leads that just essentially became age leads. So it's not like we're buying age leads from outside sources. So like we generate all of our new leads, and then I think after they're called like I don't know 8 times or 10 times or something with no pickup, meaning like 8 separate attempts, then they get put in age leads. It doesn't mean they don't answer, right? Because these people filled out a form or they requested this information or they became they were telemarketing lead or something like that. So then those age leads are essentially they're not always that's not always the case either. Like a lot of times they're just not worked hard enough, or they've been in there for a certain amount of time and they didn't convert. So after like a certain amount of days, they get put into the age leads as well. I think it's 60 or 90 days or something like that. So like they could be being worked but just not converted yet. And when people don't pay out of pocket for leads, they don't treat them the same. So if someone's not spending $20 to $30 a lead, they're usually not going to try to squeeze the juice out of it as hard. They're not going to fight for the sale as much. So we get a ton of sales in those age leads. So everyone who starts is in age leads for like their first week, as long as they work that full week. Maybe 2 weeks if it's like a mediocre effort the first week, and then they get put on new leads, and then inbound calls. But we get a ton of sales on age leads. Like there's no reason why someone can't. We had a girl write 500,000 in annual premium only calling aged leads in 2022. So like we get a ton of sales on aged leads. She only called aged leads. So yeah, that's our leads. If you ever get to a point, FE, where you can live off your residual income, where you always have to apply active work. I understand in the beginning you will work for sure, but what's the end goal? My end goal was to have agency or a teams of agents working to where I don't have to really do as much to sustain that income level. Okay, let me make sure, guys. If you have any questions about sales or insurance, or insurance sales or marketing or lead generation, then by all means ask away. I'm gonna try to go TikTok live here too. I've never done it. I don't know how to do it, but let me see how. If anybody wants to explain to me here while I figure this out, it would be cool if there was just a button you could press to go live. Imagine. Oh, here we go. Live. Okay. And I don't know how to go live on TikTok, and I'm not going to try to do this. This is like stupid that they don't have a button. You can just press to go live. TikTok, figure it out. All right. Yep. Not doing that. If anybody knows, just put it in the chat if you know how to go live on TikTok. So this is the thing. You can get to a point where you live off your residuals in Final Expense You either have to sell like an insane amount, or you can like grow a team. But the thing is, you can't work. You can't live off residuals in health without working that book of business, right? Sorry, I have like a thing on my arm. I don't know what it is. You can't even in health insurance, right? Like you have to maintain that book of business because if you don't maintain that book of business, you're losing it. So Medicare, health insurance, whatever, you're going to lose those clients, right? They're going to turn over if you don't keep actively like on top of them. The only way that I can think of to actually truly get to the point where it's passive and you don't have to actively like do it every day to where you're working on your business and not in your business is by building an agency, right? Because you're building a business. Your final expense renewals can get to the point where they're significant and they're solid, and so can your Medicare and health insurance renewals. It depends what lifestyle you want too, right? Like that's so hard. It's like where you can live off your residual income. It depends what you want. It depends what your like goals are, like how much money you're trying to make. If you build a business out of it and you have if you go to learn how to do it yourself and then build a team and then teach other people how to build sales teams, then you will 100% you'll get to that point faster. That just is what it is. Like I'm looking for people that I can help do that with. Um, so like yeah, that's what I did. So, and that's where I'm at now. And it's crazy because I worked like 60, 70 hours a week for like 4 years and reinvested all the money I made, like literally everything, to where like I didn't really have much beyond my bills paid. I didn't really have much money saved. I had good cash flow, but I was spending it all, like reinvesting. I was going broke every month. And now I'm at a point where I've scaled to the point where I have teams. I have people, and I have like a leadership level under me that's running those teams, to where I don't really have to do a ton. I still do a lot. Like the last couple months, I've kind of like gone on some vacations and stuff and taken some time, and I feel guilty about it. And these people are they're taken care of. They're remunerated well for what they do, and we help each other, and I do my best. But last couple months, it's been crazy. It's been so weird because like I don't like it's like I don't even know where to put the time. When you get to a point where you have so many agents where it's like, okay, where do I start? I have one-on-ones with people scheduled this week, and I do one-on-ones with agents. I do one-on-ones with the coaching teams. I run all the new agent trainings. So like every new agent that comes through here, I run the trainings. I'm kind of just rambling now, but my current agency didn't train me at all how to sell, and it discouraged aged leads and encourages by the new leads. That's a red flag. Um, some people would say that's a red flag. I mean, that's not a red flag for someone who's just gonna like. That's not. It's a red flag, but it's like they may not even know. They may not know that that's not a good thing to teach you. So it's hard. Like I don't think they have your worst interests at heart. I don't think they don't want you to succeed, because if you succeed, they succeed, right? So like if you only buy one batch of leads, they're not making much money on that. So they want you to win. I think that they're just assuming that like maybe the people in leadership were in sales for a while before, or this came really naturally to, and they were just able to buy a lead, walk up to the door, knock on the door, go in, close the sale, and figure it all out on the spot. It kind of came naturally to me. So like I was able to just buy new leads, generate them myself, go knock on doors, go inside, figure out how to underwrite and how to do applications on the spot. Like I had no training, right? So I was able to go and figure all that out on the spot just with group chats. Not most people aren't able to figure that out. I'm not saying that in a conceited way. I'm saying it's very difficult. And like I look back, I'm like, I don't even know how I figured that out or was able to do it. And people have a challenge with that. So I recommend the age leads for sure, especially telesales. I mean, telesales, if you're only buying new leads starting out, it's kind of like, you're committing career suicide. I do not recommend anybody start at 100% commission buying leads, 100, 120% commission. I do not recommend anybody do that. I don't. I recommend you start in a system like mine where you are provided unlimited leads at 50% commission plus bonuses, which can push you up to 70% comp, which at that point, it's the same thing because all your money that you make goes to leads anyway, or a lot of it. A lot of the profit, not all of it, but the profit, a lot of profit you want to reinvest. At that point, it's the same thing, but it's not on your dime. You don't have that pressure of like, oh my god, I gotta like buy more leads. I have more people making money here percentage wise than people going into those systems where they have to buy leads. And if 100% commission, 120% commission was so good, there wouldn't be a 92%, probably honestly like 95% turnover rate in the industry, right? Like, I don't know. That's just my logic. Like, dude, if 100% commission was so good, why do so many people like when I talk to these agency owners who have like 120, oh, I give all my agents 110%. Cool, then why do they all fail? Right? Why did 95% of them fail if it's all about comp? It just doesn't make any sense. And it's very easy for the guy at the top to say, just buy more leads. Okay, buddy. Yeah, cool. Why don't you buy leads and go sell? You know, so um, it doesn't matter. So this is the thing. You say you feel like you picked the wrong choice. By the way, guys, any questions you have, drop them in the chat. Okay, any questions you have, drop them in the chat. I want to help you guys. Anything related to sales, final expense lead generation, final expense, whatever, anything, or our system, or even about a system you're in. I started with New York Life. Amazing company. Like, incredible company. But I just didn't know what I was doing at the time. So they told me not to buy any leads at all. They told me to open my phone and call my friends and family. That's like mega red flag, right? So I don't know. I hit the ceiling at my current sales role, 100K, and I want to transition to insurance. I'm asking questions, see what career path looks like. I want to make more money. Yeah. Yeah, no, that'd be cool. Like, so this is the thing. Like, I sold cars. I made 100 grand plus selling cars, and I I'll get the right there. More than enough woodworks. So Dade County local. I sold cars. I made 100 grand selling cars. More. And I was like, dude, I don't want to live at the car dealership. I didn't see anybody who was in their 50s or 60s at a car dealership who didn't either do drugs or was in a good, they weren't. Most of them had substance abuse. Most of them, or a lot of them, a lot of them weren't happy in their relationship. A lot of them were unhealthy. They were miserable. Like, I don't want to be that. I said, what can I get into where I can make more money long term? I made less money my first year in insurance, like half the amount. My second year, I made probably three quarters of the amount I made selling cars, maybe two thirds. My third year, I made more. This is my fourth year, and I'll make, you know, seven times what I made selling cars, something like that. Six, 5 to 7 times. So like, it just keeps growing. So that's the thing. It's like it's really hard to take that jump because sometimes we can be leveraged to where like, you know, when we make 100 grand, we're spending money like we make 100 grand or more sometimes, and we're like we can't dial it down to a $50,000 lifestyle sometimes. So but you can make 100,000 here for sure. You just gotta understand that you gotta put a bunch of extra effort in at first, and to make the money. Most people do not make, like, I could have way more agents making 100,000 here. Um, Most people do not apply that persistent effort for a long enough time to see that six figures through to fruition in their first year. Like, they may go hard for like a few weeks or a couple months, and it kind of fizzles off. And some people, they don't want to, right? Say they're used to making like 800 to 1,000 bucks a week, and then they're making 1,500 a week. They pull back, and they're like, "Cool, maybe I don't want to make 100,000. Maybe I don't need to make 100,000 a year anymore." So, but you can definitely make that transition if you can put in the work. If you can put 50 to 60 hours a week for the first few months, you'll get to a point where you'll know what you'll have to do to make 100 grand. It's like it's very attainable, 100%. I'd like to work with you too. Anything I can send you to show you. I don't want to sit here and tell you that you're going to make 100 grand your first year, 100K. Like, I'm not going to be one of those guys. You probably won't make 100,000 your first year statistically if I go by everybody I brought on, right? But you can if you got the same drive as some of the people who did, then you could. And it's hard because your life has to be like the perfect storm. Three best telesales carriers. Um, I would say American Amicable. Good questions, guys. If you have any more questions about life insurance sales, final expense sales, Facebook advertising, YouTube advertising, our system that we run, anything, drop them in the chat. Best telesales. I like American Amicable. I think they're the best for telesales. For a variety of reasons. Number one, their billing is the best. I think they have the best Social Security billing. Their underwriting is really cool because they're kind of more strict on the day one benefits, but they're a little bit more lenient on what they approve people for like modified and graded plans. And they you can argue some of the underwriting. So like say a client was prescribed painkillers and then they take Narcan. They're prescribed Narcan as well, which is a medication that's used to help people who overdose on narcotics pull out of the overdose. They may not have a drug addiction, but if the carrier, if American Amicable, if any carrier sees that prescription for Narcan, they're automatically going to be like, oh, modified or a decline. They're a drug addict, but they may not be. It just may be like legally required in that state for that person to be prescribed Narcan with their narcotics. So you can go into the app and put like, hey, they don't have any substance abuse issues, like they're just prescribed this per state law, and they'll look at it and think, okay, yeah, understand it, push it approved. Day one benefit, immediate benefit. So American Amicable, they're good. They also have the best customer service, I think, and the easiest agent service to work with. Like you call and it's very short wait time, if any, to get someone on the phone in underwriting or new business to help you with your policy issues and fix policy issues. And then we use Prosperity Life and American Home Life Patriot. Okay, Prosperity takes neuropathy day one, immediate benefit. AHL Patriot takes COPD as an immediate benefit. Lupus, multiple sclerosis, seizures. They take a bunch of stuff day one benefit. They take heart attacks after 12 months, between 12 and 24 months as a day one benefit. Strokes between 12 and 24 months as a day one benefit. Circulatory surgery, heart surgery, 12 to 24 months as a day one benefit. After 24 months, it's still a day one benefit. Obviously, it's just a little cheaper. So they're really good. And Prosperity has a policy called Prime Term, which they take dialysis, they take organ transplant over 2 years ago, they take dementia, Alzheimer's over 2 years ago. They take like some of those hardcore things that are automatic declines. They take it. Also, AHL Patriot doesn't have a height and weight chart. So those three carriers are like, boom, lethal. And then obviously you have your guaranteed issue, which hopefully you'll never have to write. Guys, also too, do not write guaranteed issue over modified just to save the client money. It's not. You're not doing anybody any favors, I promise. Because that client's probably going to cancel their policy anyway if they're in that health. Most of the people in bad health don't keep their policies statistically. And also, you run a business, so you can't keep your business afloat if you're just giving everybody the best deal all the time because for the price, because you don't get paid crap on GI, right? So always do modified if you can over guaranteed issue, even if it costs the client more money, because you can't help them if you're not in business anymore from that. So I learned that the hard way. Can you make 200K? Keep going with the questions, guys. Ask me any questions about Final Expense telesales, lead generation, Facebook lead generation, YouTube lead generation, or scaling, or our system here at SLS. Yeah, you can make 200,000 your first year. So there are chargebacks, but it's like it would be really tough to net 200,000 here your first year. Like it would be it'd be tough. You'd have to put in a lot of. I mean, you can do it. I'm only saying it wouldn't be tough. You just have to work a lot. Like you'd have to put 70 hours. If you did 70 hours a week consistently, you'd make 200 grand. First year, right? I can't see why you wouldn't. Then that's like overshooting it. Like a focused work a week, like 70 hours of like I am dialed in, making my calls, cranking it out. I can't see why someone wouldn't do that. If they apply all the training and go through everything, most people don't actually work a 40 to 50 hour week. Um, and I just know because they're up from their desk, the cameras aren't on when we're in our calling rooms and stuff, and they're not working it like they would at most people if they were in like a W-2 position, which is okay. I don't. That's totally cool. That's up to them and other people. But I'm talking when I say 70 hours a week, I mean like 70 hours literally at your desk making calls. Yeah, for sure. And we have chargebacks, like I said, but like a little is held of each commission into a separate account to protect against chargebacks. So cancellations come out of that account. They don't come out of your next week's commission check. What is the difference in your system and traditional MLM? Um, so what you can do, if anybody has any questions as well, like want to follow up with me on anything, you can just email me. I'm going to put my email here. You can email me one. Um, Let me find the link as well to this video that I have that covers our system. We don't push recruit like me and a couple other people are literally like the only ones who recruit here. I mean, I yeah, I mean me, I'm one of the only people who recruits heavy. I may recruit heavier than anybody else at the whole agency. I think I do. So we don't push recruiting. So that's like why we're not like traditional MLM. Yes, all insurance is essentially based on MLM in a way, right? So I'm not going to front. Like every single insurance system out there is based on someone making money off someone else's sale. Because there's always going to be that upline scenario. That video goes over our system there. So if anybody says, oh, we're not an MLM, if they sell insurance, I mean, they're kind of based like an MLM in the sense that like someone makes a sale and then someone makes money off that, and that's in the form of a hierarchy. There's always someone on top, but that's every business, right? So I don't think that in a bad sense. Here, we don't push anybody to recruit who doesn't want to. Um, you literally just sign into your computer, you log into your CRM, you start making calls, and you take the inbound calls as they come in once you qualify for them, and that's it. We have morning meetings. I look for a big commitment out of agents though, 50 to 60 hours a week for the first 90 days, on Zoom, camera on, attending all trainings, all that stuff. So I put that video I put in the chat there, Juan. It's that covers our whole system, so you can check that out after this if you want. Oh, I didn't monetize my YouTube live. Let me turn that on here. What do we go? Make like 2 cents. How can you qualify for inbound? So you have to get 2,500 AP in a week and 20 hours of talk time in that same week. So in 1 week, you have after you get into new leads, you have to get 2,500 of annual premium and 20 hours of talk time in the new lead project. So that's it. And once you get that, then you're put on the live transfers and inbound calls. Yeah, cool. Good questions here. Hey, keep them coming, guys. Any questions about sales? And if any of my agents are on here, ask me questions about like the sales process or like how to overcome certain objections and how to handle certain things you run into. I'd love to have certain scenarios that you guys ran into on your sales this week, or maybe issues you ran into with lead generation if you're not with our system and you have to generate leads on your own, or anything like that. So you usually on inbound leads toward the end of the week. It usually takes a few weeks to be on inbound leads. Sorry, I had text there. Usually a couple 2 to 3 weeks you can be on inbound leads. But like if you're only like you can make sales on outbound. It's not. You're literally just clicking a button making calls. So how do you overcome? I need to talk to someone else. Oh, hold on. Is the CRM included in concluded free? How about leads? What is the commission structure, and how does that work with if I bring in 2 or 3 agents under me to begin? Okay, so CRM is included. It's not free. So after 30 days here, there's a $59 per week seat fee that's legally required as 1099. So to have someone 1099, you legally can't not charge them a seat fee. Some places don't, but they're asking for potentially to get sued, and you don't want the government, you don't want the Department of Labor on you. Trust me. So the $59 a week seat fee. If you hit 5,000 in annual premium, that drops down to $39, I think, or $34. It drops down to 34. And if you hit 25 hours of talk time, it drops down another $25 to $9. So there's so many different ways, and there's other ways too. But you can essentially nobody working full time is paying the seat fee, really, the full seat fee, because they're either making the sales or have the talk time to offset it. What's the commission structure? So you start at 50% of the annual premium plus bonuses. So like we have bonuses if you hit the bonuses, it essentially can bring your commission level probably up to like 70% of the annual premium is what it would look like. Now, other systems will have you at 100 or 110, maybe 120% if you like got the connections starting out, but you got to buy all your leads. And after lead costs and figuring out everything and getting the CRM set up and paying for the CRM and everything else that's involved, and it's like it's way easier to start in a system like ours. And this is the thing, hey, I don't expect any agent to be here forever. So even if you come here and you're like, hey, I got this sales thing down now, I'm gonna go try to buy leads and generate my own leads at the higher commission level. Cool, you can do that too. Everybody who I've had done that, I've seen do that, has either come back or quit the business because they're not making the same amount of money. But I don't care. I mean, I'm here to help anybody. So if you got to come use our training and stuff, then that's totally cool. If you bring some other people under you, your commission level can increase as well to 52.5, 55, 57.5%. You don't have to recruit people to do that, but your commission level can increase faster if you recruit people, and automatically you'll get an override on them, and you'll make money for their first sale, and you're entered into other incentives as well. So we have a referral program. You want to be building a team. Like I would handle the training along with the other leadership because I handle all new agent training. But yeah, how do you overcome? I need to talk to someone else about it. Okay, overcome. I need to talk to someone else about it. So this happens in the beginning. So you want to ask them first in your intro. You want to be making sure in like the warm up. You want to be making sure that you ask them if they can make decisions on their own and if they handle their own finances. So hey, are you able to make insurance decisions on your own? Great. Okay. Do you pay your bills? Are you able to make financial decisions on your own? Yes. Okay. Awesome. As you're going through, make sure that you're establishing a rapport with them. You're building a connection. Have a conversation that's a two-way conversation where you're sharing something about you and they're sharing something about them, just like you're meeting someone in public trying to make a friend. You also want to ask the right questions to bring out the need. So ask questions that get them emotionally charged about solving this problem. So hey, what's your current program look like to take care of your final arrangements? Say they don't have any insurance. I don't have anything. Well, I don't have any plans. Okay. And so what would happen if you pass and your son ends up at the funeral home and they ask him how he's going to pay for it? Where's he going to get the money? I don't know. Okay. Are are you okay with that? No. All right. So how would it feel to be able to take care of this for him and pay for it? Oh, it would feel pretty good. Cool. Do you feel like a final expense plan may be the solution that you're looking for to make sure this is taken care of for him? Yeah. So you want to ask questions that can like get them emotionally engaged in it. And then what I always like to do is when I feel like usually like when they're like talk to someone else, they've already brought that person up in the presentation. So it's either their kids or their spouse. So what I like to do, it doesn't always work, but it's worked several times. Quote them super high, like as high as you can possibly go, the max. Hopefully it's like some stupid high number that you know they're not going to buy. And they're going to be like, oh, geez, I got to talk to this person about it. Because they're going to tell they're going to, I use this especially if they tell me from the beginning that they have to talk to someone else. So like if they're like, oh no, I'm going to have to talk to my wife about it. Cool. I'm going through and I quote super high. And then I'll be negotiating, I'll be working down, handling the objections, use Jordan Belfort's loop, use my rebuttals page, which if you haven't seen my rebuttals page, I have a website on how to handle every single objection in Final Expense telesales. I think it's https colon slash yeah, that's right, rebuttalspage.com. There you go. So you can go there, and it's only $39 for lifetime access. Has all my rebuttals. But you quote super high, and then as you're working your way down, I say this. I'm like, hey, I understand, like, this is a commitment, and you have to talk to your wife about it. Now, like, if you went to the grocery store, can you go to the grocery store without asking her if you can go to the grocery store to buy food? Like, are you allowed to do that? And I say seriously, I'm not trying to insult you. Like, are you allowed to go to the grocery store if you need to? If you need to buy groceries and just buy something random, say like you need bread or milk or something like that, they're always like, yeah, of course. Okay, so bread is like $1.50, $2. If you get nice bread, it's like a few bucks for a loaf. With this, we're talking about potentially a few $100s. So I get that. So obviously, if you every time you went to the grocery store it cost you $300, though, you'd have to talk to your wife, right? Yeah, I would. Great. If a loaf of bread was $300, you would have to run it by her. They're like, yes, I would. Okay, cool. So at what point in the price range is that something that you have to run by your wife? So it's like if you went to the grocery store and you spent $40, would you have to run it by her? Well, maybe. Okay, if you spent $70, would you have to run it by her? Probably. Okay, cool. So somewhere between $40 and $70 is that mark where you'd have to run it by her or not. Yeah. Okay, but you know you need food, right? Yeah. Okay. So when we end this call, two things are going to happen. Either you're going to have initiated getting coverage in place, or you're not going to have anything and you've been looking into this for a while. And the chances of you getting something are going to be just put off and decline over time because the longer you put something off, the bigger chance of you never even getting it done. So let's do this. Let's apply. Let me see if I can get you qualified for a plan that is something that you won't get yelled at for committing to, and you're not signing this in blood. Okay, if you go over it with her, and even that amount she's not happy with, whatever, you can get rid of the plan. But from there, you have an approval, and you can increase it. You're going to have to get started on this. Your wife's going to probably want you to start to take action on something anyway. Because if something happens to you, she's in a tough spot. We already talked about that. So let's do this. Let's apply for the, and then whatever plan he said is in that threshold of where he wouldn't get yelled at. Let's apply for this. If anything happens, anything changes, obviously you can not keep the plan or we can adjust it from there. But most likely she knows you're going to need this. So we'll be either keeping this or increasing it from there. And then that way you get the ball rolling on it and you can start actually taking care of this. Sound fair enough? Cool. And then usually like that's a good way that I have of handling that objection. So those are the few ways. But I found like just reasoning with people like, okay, I get it, you got to talk to your wife, but like, at what point would you not have to talk to her, right? If anybody has any other objections they'd like to ask how to handle them, please drop them in the chat here, and I'd be more than happy to help. Anybody have any? Thank you, Tiffany. Yeah, you could build. No, you can build a team here. That's awesome. $70 a lead. Yeah, you could cut that because you generate your own. You could cut that because we provide all the leads. One, that's awesome. You figure that out. Um, no, you could build a team here. I want to help people build teams. Like I am starving for leaders that I can help build teams for. Like that's my thing. So I want salespeople, but I also want leaders. So like I spend about 10 grand a month on each of my leaders to help them build their teams. So I have like 4 separate teams now that I'm helping build up, and I spend about $10,000 a month for each of them to help them grow. Anywhere from like 7,500 to 10,000 for them to help them grow. So I want to, I'm willing to do that with anybody who will come and put in that time, energy, and effort in the sales game first, and then once you just show that you can show up every day and be emotionally stable and consistent and have high integrity, meaning just do what you say you're going to do, then I'm down to invest. But how much do the leaders net? It depends how new they are. So a leader, if someone was a top producer, they're going to make less money than in leadership than for the first few months doing it. Because you go from selling, I don't want any of my leaders actively selling, right? So like, and it just doesn't make sense. In telesales, you can't do it. You can't do it. Face to face, you can because like it's easy. It's much more forgiving because you can have an agent in the home. They can call you. You can help them out. In telesales, you got to be there. Like we have all of our leaders on the back end of all their agents' phone lines, jumping on the call, helping them close the sale. So for the first few months of being in leadership, you're going to make less money than in sales. I made less money when I was building my team than I did when I sold, but it's the long term growth. So some leaders are making anywhere, my guys have only been doing it for like a year and a half, right? Some of them are making, consistently clearing over 10 grand a month right now, and 10, 11, 12, 13, like they're consistently clearing over 10 grand a month. Some of them, but in a year they're going to be at 15 plus, so, and then it's going to keep growing from there. So it's like a get wealthy slow business. Like it's like there's no way that in a few years they're not going to be making 20 20 to 25k a month or more, or 30. It's like hopefully more than that. I don't know, but no, but that's what I'm saying. It's like it takes time to build it up. Like now, you know, I'm making 60 to 70 thousand a month, maybe 80,000 a month. But I'm not netting that. I'm netting after all my. This is me doing it for 4 years and just cranking on reinvesting myself. After reinvesting all my money, and after my rent, my stupid vacations and trips I go on, dinners I buy that I don't need to spend money on, my truck, which is like $1,500 a month, all this, after everything I spend money on. I have a lot of stuff I spend money on that's necessary, like job boards and my assistants and everything else. But after all that, I'm still net profit like 30 to 35,000 a month. So like after spending everything, so I'm saving at the end of the month. I still have a surplus of 30 to 35k right now. After everything else, so like it just grows, and I want everybody who I'm helping grow to get to that point too. So yeah, hope that doesn't come back to like bite me in the butt. I'm just being, transparent. Hopefully that's inspiring to someone. What does it look like commission wise when you're a leader and have a team? I'm currently at 15% where I'm at. I'd like to join you, but can't sacrifice a huge portion of income. So you're at 15% override one. Is that what you're saying? Love the nighttime live streams. Cool, Bruno. What's up, Bruno? How you doing, man? Oh, yo, Bruno, we're going to Vero Beach the weekend of the 15th. So yeah, yeah. Um, my guys get 10% of. They start at 10% of the override, and they don't pay any downline chargeback. So that's another thing with SLS guys that I don't know anywhere else that does this. Um, I don't have roll up debt. So like I have chargebacks on my spread, but if I have people leave and if my leaders have people leave, they're never going to pay the roll up debt of their downlines ever. So like we only pay our spread. The agency covers the roll up debt. So like that's like huge. It's unheard of. Like nowhere, I don't know anywhere else that does that. There may be places I've never heard of it though. So like 10%, I'm at 15, 16% spread. But I reinvest like most of what I make, on that. But yeah, they're at 10 with no. Actually, no, they're at 11.25. 11.25. Most of them. Some are at 10. Is it too late to qualify for the boot camp? No, Camille, keep doing your thing. I'll reach out to James. We'll do what we can to fit you in there. You deserve to go, Camille, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Bruno, I'll be in Vero that weekend, so that'll be cool if you can swing up there. You can see the home office, meet the team and stuff. Yeah, Camille, I should definitely. Yeah. Oh, one, that's awesome. 12 agents. Yeah, that's awesome, man. 12 writing agents. That's nothing to sneeze at either. That's a challenge. It's hard to build up a team like that. You know, um, and it's so cool. Like the most inspiring thing for me is seeing new agents working hard and trying something new. It's like it motivates me so much to see people showing up every day in this challenging environment and just giving it their all. Like it's like I don't know, it's really cool. It's pretty inspiring to see, and it's cool to be like this is the selfish part of it, but it's cool to be like, hey, I'm helping these people with their income, but I'm also helping them gain a confidence in themselves that maybe they didn't have before, and that means a lot to me. Like it really, really means a lot for people to grow in that way too. Because like I want to help people grow in more than just income. You know, I want to help people grow in like mind, body, spirit, and bank account, so that they're different people when they leave, and they're confident if they leave. You know. Where's your office located? Could I bring the team over if they're willing? Where do you live, Juan? How long have I been on here? How long has this been going? Oh, 45 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna be ending it soon. Ah, no. Hold on. My computer is being wonky. Okay. Highland Park, Texas. Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, I couldn't work with you on because I can only hire out of Florida, like I said, unfortunately. But I can refer you to people. You know, you could plug into the system essentially too. So you can plug it in the same system. Tough thing is though, they'll probably make you change like all the script and everything you're using, so your agents would have to learn something. You know, you wouldn't just be able to plug in and then like have them do what they're doing. They'd want you to be standardized on the script that they use, so that may be tough. If you do that, you'll probably lose some agents. To be honest, maybe not if they're all cool with it. I don't know how close you are with them, but that can be tough for people to kind of just switch something. You know. Um, yeah, exactly. One, I wouldn't be able to work with you, unfortunately. I can literally only hire people in Florida. So I can only hire people in Florida. People building teams anywhere else can hire anywhere else. But I got blessed with Florida, so I can only hire in Florida for now. Maybe at some point I'll be able to hire outside of Florida. I've grown so much being here in a short amount of time. Yeah, you're welcome, Camille. So Camille's one of our new agents. She's awesome. She's doing great. She's working real hard. She's like consistent, making sales consistently, doing great. So it's good to see. Um, but one, I mean, I can, you know, I mean, I 100% help you any way I can. You know, I wouldn't. They have a different training. They have, you know, they've their system and everything. So yeah. Um, yeah. Thanks, Bruno. Appreciate you cheering her on. I don't know who Life Shield National Insurance. I've heard of it, but I know absolutely nothing about them. So I'm not even going to begin to put my 2 cents in there. Anybody have any questions? Any other questions? Because I am about to sign off here. Yeah. I've seen a lot of insurance companies come in and be really cheap, and then in a few years they're not cheap anymore. So, um, yeah, I mean they'll do that sometimes just to buy up market share. That's all. I've seen it happen so many times in the short years I've been in the business. You'll see people will come in with crazy low rates, super lenient underwriting, buy up a bunch of market share, and then they start to lose money. So they increase their rates and they get more strict. It happens all the time. Do I have to reside in Florida or have a license? You have to be a resident of Florida. So, or you can plan on moving here. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you got to be a resident of Florida. Any question? I mean, you can ask here. You can always email me any further questions here too. Um, at ojve at thgjv.com. Yeah, that's my email. How does one get started in insurance? Good question. You're at the right place, Zone In. You got to get an insurance license. If you want to learn how to get an insurance license, just email me at the email in the chat, jve at thgjv.com. I'll do this too. Just for this night, email me at that email, jve at thgjv.com. If anybody on here and watching this afterwards, if you'd like a 10-minute Zoom consultation, ask me anything about anything related to insurance, shoot me an email. We'll schedule something, and we can continue any conversations from this. And I'd love to help anybody out here with whatever I can do. Um, One, if you'd ever like me to jump in on a Zoom call though and talk to your team, maybe like give some sort of training though, like I'm totally down for that. I would do it for free. Like just I'm not, and vice versa. If you want to come on my call, I'd love for you to have you on my morning call and just like talk to agents about like certain situations, and then maybe they can pick your brain on things, how you handle certain objections and stuff, and because clearly you know what you're doing. So like I don't know, I think that would be cool. And so if you'd like to do some sort of collaboration, I'm down with that for sure. I think that would be cool. Don't have to. If anybody wants to do that too, um, yeah, then I'm total. I'd love to do that. Like if you have a group of people, I'd love to talk to them. And there will be no attempts of me to recruit your agents. I don't do that. I don't. I'm not one to poach other people's agents. Like that's not me. I don't need to do that to make money. I think it's kind of messed up. Some people do it, but whatever. That's their thing. I don't do it on purpose anyway. People may come to me and then ask me to work with me, and if they're working somewhere else, then hey, that happens. That's the case. Whatever. But yeah, I'm not gonna actively try to pull someone's downline from them. Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much, and we are ending this live stream.